The Bachelorette is here. Welcome to Playing the Field, a Bachelor podcast. I'm Ryan Field, and what a show we have on tap for you today. Jen Tran, the Bachelorette, is here in studio. How about a round of applause? Gina Sirico, also here in studio from English. Jen Matarese, our Bachelor Insider. So we are all here, and we are all here for you. And what a journey this has been. It is concluded. We have just seen the debut episode, the premiere, if you will, of The Bachelorette. When did it sink in for you that this was all really about to go down?
It still hasn't sunken in yet for me. I mean, it feels kind of crazy still. Like, I feel like this whole chapter of my life happened and I haven't seen it yet. So it's like, did it really happen? Was it just a simulation? So I'm very, very excited to kind of see it all go down and watch everyone's reactions.
What was going through your head when the men started coming out of the limo where you're just like,
weirdly enough, honestly, I wasn't really that nervous. I was just really excited to flirt. I have to say I'm a good flirt. So I was excited for that. And when I got nervous was really like when the connection started building. And I was like, oh God, now you really have to get to know me.
That was my favorite line, by the way. You're like, I'm going to flirt my booty off. And then here we are. And that's like literally every time you were like, oh yeah, he's cute. Oh yeah, he's cute. I was like, girl, go. I love the fact that your season is a little bit different in many ways. One is that you were at a different mansion and you left right away. So talk about, like, did that change the dynamic between you and the guys when knowing that you were going to be just on the road immediately?
I think so. I think when you travel with a partner or 25 partners, it's definitely a little different. I mean, you get to see them outside of their comfort zone. Like, are they open to trying new things? Do they like to travel? Do they like to experience the culture? And things like that for me are huge. So I think it really propelled these relationships a lot quicker than normal.
As we said, we've just seen the premiere episode, and we can't not ask you about these intros. Who was your favorite? There was a lot of creative ones that we've never seen on The Bachelorette before. Some guys really stepped their game up. Who had the best one, you thought?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I've ever met someone's butt cheek before I met
Right?
so that was a first for me for sure, and it was great. And then, I mean, somebody came out and, told me that they had a really big penis. Which was like, okay. Also haven't had that one before.
That's a first.
Yeah. So there were a lot of firsts for sure.
there was some conflict the first night. Were you surprised that it happened that early? And what did you feel like when you were sitting in the car?
I was definitely surprised that it was happening so quickly. I didn't know that people felt so strongly about talking to me. So I was I was concerned, but also I like drama because I think, especially conflict with men, it's nice to sit back and kind of watch people take it for what it is and see how they handle their own, because I think that's really when people's true colors come to shine, is to see how they act under conflict. So it was cool to see.
What I found interesting is when you went in after all the guys came and you said, I am looking for a ferocious love. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they all took their cue from that. But talk to us about what you mean exactly. What does that mean to you, ferocious love?
Yeah, I say ferocious love because I think I've been in a lot of bad relationships in the past where I don't feel like the guy has been putting in the same amount of effort as me, the same thought, the same kind of just energy as me. And so I want someone who's going to love me in the same way that I'm going to love them. And for me, I'm so thoughtful. I love so hard. And that's really what I wanted coming into this. And so I wanted to lay it on the ground first night. This is what I want.
And you shared a lot of these same emotions when we had you on our podcast a couple months ago after The Bachelor wrapped. When you got eliminated, we had you on. And we asked you, would you ever want to be the Bachelorette? And you said, yeah, if the opportunity came along. So we didn't know if you were playing possum with us and you knew that you were going to be the Bachelorette. At what point did you find out that this was all about to go down? How soon before the announcement actually took place?
Yeah, so I think at that point, I kind of knew it was in the talks, right? Okay. So I was playing a little bit of a possum. But I had been in meetings and interviews about it for a couple months after Joe's season. So So, and then when I got the call, I was shocked. I was kind of processing it all as I was interviewing stuff, but like, you never really think it's going to be you,
of course,
right?
right?
It's just like a crazy opportunity. And so when I got the call, I was genuinely just so excited and also like nervous. Like, I don't know if I wanted my life on public display like that, and if I wanted everything that entailed with being the Bachelorette, just not about like finding love, but about being a public figure is a lot. Like, I'm a fairly private person, so it took a little bit of me just thinking about and preparing myself for what I was really entering. Yeah.
How did your family take the news that they were going to be part of this journey too? And how did that add to the pressure maybe with being the first Asian American lead and representation and what that means?
They were so excited. Obviously, they were also a little worried because they know what it means to like be a first for something. And my mom has experienced a lot of racism, like immigrating over here, and times have changed and it's getting better. But she knows what could happen when you're in the limelight, So she was worried for me. But overall, she's very, very excited. My brother's so excited too. They're just like my biggest fans now, my biggest supporters. Like every day, they're like sending me like news articles of myself and stuff. So they're so excited to have this moment for us.
Your mom is the cutest, by the way. What have you talked to? I mean, obviously, we've got the episode of the premiere coming out. What did they tell you now that you're about to embark on this and everyone is about to see it?
Yeah, I mean, they're just really excited. They're just telling me the same things as like when I first went into the journey, is to like, stay strong in your beliefs and like be true to who you are no matter what happens, and tune out the haters.
And we saw in the trailer for the upcoming season, and listen, it looks as dramatic as ever. Jesse at one point says, no Bachelorette has ever done this. Did you know that was a Bachelorette first? And is that kind of indicative of you wanting to make this journey your own? We know we can't give away any spoilers, but I thought that was an interesting nugget in the trailer for the upcoming season.
Yeah, I definitely knew it was going to be a Bachelorette first for sure. And like I said, I really wanted to go into this journey being myself and being able to break the mold in the best way that I can, because I feel like the season breaks its mold in so many ways already. And so I really just stayed true to myself and continued to push the boundaries of what it can do and who it could become. So yeah, I definitely knew that it was going to be a first.
So we're out of time.
Oh, that's what that says. That says wrap.
I'm not
Did anybody read that?
What's going on here?
Wraps. There we go.
Got Kendrick Lamar happening.
Yeah.
We're excited to watch this journey unfold. We know it's going to be a season unlike any other. We can't thank you enough for being on the show with us here today. And hopefully we can get you back on later this season.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so excited. Thanks for having me. Can't wait to come back.
Yeah.
We can't wait to have you. Jenn Tran, everybody, your new Bachelorette. Season 21 of The Bachelorette.
Let's go.
Away we go.
Woo.
Well, Jen is just as sweet and beautiful as we thought she would be in person, and Jen had to run out because, listen, when you're the Bachelorette, you have so many media obligations. It's been a whirlwind for her. She was on GMA, Kelly and Mark, Eyewitness News at 10. Joelle Gargiulo and I had a chance to interview her, so she had to run out, and she's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. But Jen has moved over and taken Jen's seat, so we've gone from one Jen to another Jen.
And I'm still here.
Gina is still here.
I'm still in New York.
I mean, the podcast just has such a different feel with Gina here. We're able to look at her, and it's like she's come from out of the screen right here into the studio with us.
Yes.
But listen, going back to Jen, I mean, she's exactly what we thought she would be when she got named the Bachelorette. And frankly, I thought she was better in this episode than I thought she was going to be. I mean, she had the witty retorts. I mean, she was right with these guys. And I think, people wanted to see Maria and for obvious reasons, and other, Daisy. But I thought Jen stepped in and knocked it out of the park here in this premiere episode.
She hit the ground running, that's for sure. And
perfect.
I think her personality shined. I think a lot of the guys' personalities shined. I was surprised to see how, usually the names don't click in my head that quickly, and it takes me a while to get to know these guys. I started getting to know them pretty well early on, I feel.
Yeah, I just love Jen. I think she is just this bright light. She is so sweet, and that what you see is what you get. What we saw with Joey is the same person that we're seeing now as the lead. She is, she's just great. I think she's going to really have a great season. I think people are going to really love her.
I think she is too, and we touched on this with Jen, the trailer for the upcoming season. I mean, there's a lot that goes down, and frankly, some guys that made it further than I thought they would based on the first night, which is always funny how those trailers work when you're like, oh, really? That guy is doing this with her? Okay, great.
You try to read the shadows.
Yeah, read the shadows.
Whose profile is this?
Exactly.
He got a one-on-one?
Yeah,
What?
wait, what?
No, I can't wait to see. I want to watch them all the episodes right now.
We need to
Well,
binge. We need to binge.
I wish we could.
I know.
I wish we could. But listen, there's a lot of excitement from this first episode, and I'm curious to get your ladies' takeaways. Has her makeout sesh with Sam finally come to an end? I mean, that was, you don't normally see that. I mean, listen, you guys have a better memory than me, and you remember all the seasons. Do you ever remember somebody making out on the couch for what felt like an eternity while all the other guys are just hanging out? I mean, normally you get like a kiss or two. But this was like a full-fledged.
Are you just uncomfortable because you
makeout.
still love her and
Well,
you
listen,
did not
is
want her to kiss
is
anybody?
The jealousy shining through right now? But no, I really thought that was a lot for the first episode for them.
She didn't kiss a lot of men.
She didn't kiss any guys.
But the one she did,
Yeah.
she made it count.
Yes, she did.
Look, I mean, there was a reason he got the first impression rose,
Right.
and apparently there you go.
There you go.
There was a connection.
So Sam M, I mean, I feel for him because he had a fiance that apparently cheated on him and
Yes.
things have been rough. He's a year out. I hope that's long enough to,
Good point.
feel ready to take on a new relationship. I guess we'll have to see what happens with him.
Yes, we will. Who had the best intro, do you think? There were so many good ones. I like the guy who did the up with all the balloons.
And
then they were
all
popping all over
popping
the
on the way
place.
out.
In the
That was-
trees, he was tangled. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, and of course the obvious face wrap situation.
wrap.
Jonathan.
Did you guys think he was going to be cute?
I wasn't sure. I
Or
was
did he have
hoping.
his face
He
wrapped?
had nice eyes.
Nice eyes. That was the first impression. And I think she definitely thought he was cute
He's
once
cute. He's definitely cute. I mean,
once he was unveiled.
that's risky because you have to think, am I cute enough to pull this off?
Right, exactly.
Or are people going to be like, oh, not worth the wait?
And that was
My
Jonathan,
butt
by the way.
hanging out.
Yeah.
So because he was in the hospital gown, so I mean, I think people saw a lot more than
Bonus
perhaps
points
they
for
were hoping
creativity.
for. Yeah.
What did you guys think of the connection between Thomas and the fellow Vietnamese gentleman?
Interesting. I thought, if I could be honest, I thought she felt like he was a little, I don't want to say cringy at first. I don't know. There was something that I felt like she was kind of, I don't know. I just felt like there was a funny vibe that she was not feeling him. But then again, going back to the trailer for the rest of the season, he's in there a lot, which leads you to believe that he might be deep into this thing. He was the only Asian that was of the 25, the only one of Asian descent, also Vietnamese, which I thought was an interesting choice. So obviously they're going to have a different connection just from a culture standpoint that none of these other guys are going to have. But I thought initially, she was kind of put off by him, but then I thought as the episode unfolded, I think they kind of came around a little bit.
He gave her the bracelet at the
Right.
beginning.
The
where he was
win-win.
talking about the win-win. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it was cute. Okay, all right, I'll go with it. I think it's cute. I do think, she told me during when we spoke a couple of weeks ago in LA, which we ran on a previous podcast, that she's really excited to be able to show her culture.
Yeah.
And be able to have people see it and see a different culture. And I think with Thomas, I think it's good that he is there as well. He understands her culture. It's the same. They have a lot of things in common in that way. And yeah, I mean, first impressions, you just kind of never know. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see how far their connection goes and whether it just ends up being like a friend thing or whether it ends up being something where it's like, oh, yeah, I think we could match well.
Yeah.
Someone else, not to steal it away from them, but Marcus, the Army Ranger who almost lost his life to a grenade. Like, whoa, that's a lot to deal with. I don't know what kind of PTSD he may have to deal with.
Well, and that's a very good point, and that's something that she has to take into consideration. I mean, obviously, we thank him for his service and what he did for our country, and putting his life on the line is something that a lot of people, frankly, could never do.
Yeah.
And, even more courage to come on this show and talk about it, which obviously
Afraid of nothing.
Yeah, at that point. And I think, Jen maybe looks at that like you just said, Jen, and she's like, you know what, this guy's not afraid of anything. He's here for me, and maybe she's willing to look past potential PTSD and other things that might come from that.
But I also think that it's great that he was able to make that decision to come on. And I think that maybe he feels like, all right, it's time to not live in that and to really move forward and have some good things come his way. And, who knows? I think, he could go far.
He could.
Good.
How
He
about the
seems
whole thing with the car? I thought that was I knew that was going to get a rise out of both of you. And listen, I forgot the guy's name. Who was that?
Jeremy?
So hard early in
Ryan.
the season when you got 25 guys to
Props
keep
to Jeremy. Jeremy was the one who drove up in the car.
From
and
New York
also
City, by
said-
the way.
Yeah,
Shipped
and
it
also said, yeah, he did say he shipped it in. And then also said he was the one who said that, people overcompensate. And she goes, did he just say that?
Right, that's
Did he
right.
just say
He
that
did,
word
yeah.
seriously to me? So it was kind of like, okay, with that. And so I wasn't quite sure what to make of him and his reaction when the other one came in.
Well, I'm from Connecticut.
So how did you end up in New York?
I was in Peru for a month. What's going on? All right, now it's time to drive away.
I gotta go.
Oh, you got my key?
No, this is my key right now. I appreciate
She
you.
wants to take my car for a drive.
Yeah.
Brian got my keys to my car. He's acting foolish. He's like a little kid.
And was like, yeah, I'm going to take your keys and, I'm going to take her for a
You don't
ride.
have enough horsepower for her, bro.
And it's like, he was the bigger man. And he was just like, I'm going to avoid this conflict. You do what you want. You show your true colors. And I'll catch that later.
I went from feeling a little cringe about him to being like, you're classy, dude. Like you've come around in my brain now to where I like you. And this other guy, Brian, with Mr. Shot O'Clock, maybe he was insecure about his own intro.
Maybe.
And,
was.
why does he have to attach himself to that situation and come off like a bully? It just sort of, I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Well, let's look at
Alpha
this from
males.
two sides. I thought, as a guy watching this show,
Yeah.
I'm picturing how I would react if I were the one in the car and this guy came up. And again, you can't come off like a jerk in that situation. You almost have to be the bigger person, which to your point, I thought he was. Were you guys cool with how Jen handled it? If you were her in that situation, how would you have handled that situation? It's nice hearing this from a female perspective.
If it was me, knowing that was Jeremy's car, I would have gotten out when Brian got in.
Oh, that would have been,
That's,
yeah.
But I mean, it didn't look, with the way it played out in the episode, it didn't look like they went anywhere.
No, they
so
didn't.
who knows whether, and that may be what she did off camera. But for me, I would have been like, that's not cool. Like, you could tell she was uncomfortable with the fact that this guy
Absolutely.
was honing in on that time. And then the way she did it, that's what
I would have sent him packing. I would have said.
Right on the spot?
Yeah, I would have said, I don't think this is going
Wow.
to work out. Like, it just was a turn off. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
See, that's
You
what
know?
it was so uncomfortable for everyone.
I think she wanted to see where it was going to go. So I can't fault Jen for, watching it play out,
Yeah,
And,
right.
Yeah.
and also, she knows it's going to be good drama. So she,
Well, and both men did get a rose, by the
She
way.
did say she likes drama.
Yes,
so,
she
yeah.
did. She told us just that.
maybe she thinks she likes the bad boy a little bit. Maybe he'll turn things around. But I think, she said she's done potty training men.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a good line.
he seems like a toddler,
Are you maybe not even toddler? Maybe a little younger than a toddler.
Yeah, a newborn.
Yeah, exactly.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there was so many characters in this season, and one of the things we talked with Jen too about was when Jesse said, "This is a Bachelorette first. We've never, and this is the 21st season of The Bachelorette. And I love to put you two on the spot. You're our insiders. You're our experts. What are our guesses right now after seeing the first episode? What is The Bachelorette first that is about to go down? Do we have any sort of inclination? And if you saw the spoilers, please don't give that away. We just want to know what you guys think.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, we did see, she did say somebody from her past was coming
Which
back.
we forgot to bring that point up too. Yeah, the ex-boyfriend came back, and then they brought him into the house.
We don't know whether it's
It
been
was
ex-boyfriend.
Joey Graziadei. Dun, dun, dun.
No,
I knew Joey couldn't get enough.
He's been very busy in
Kelsey
New Orleans.
comes in, slaps him across the face. This is the drama we need.
No,
on The
that I
Bachelor.
don't think it has anything to do. I'm just not sure what it could be unless it was an ex and unless it was one of the toxic ones that she has talked about.
She said 3 ex-boyfriends.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it's going to be really interesting to see how she handles it. And I was trying to piece it together in my brain.
Of course, we all were.
Because it's what I watched in the very beginning of the episode where she puts the rose down when Jesse's saying that's the first, are you going to be okay with anything? She was in a specific outfit. In the next clip where she's going
you
into
really broke this down.
look, sometimes we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
In the next scene, she's walking into a hotel room, I guess, and she was in a different outfit. So I don't know how it's all played out or whether it's all just really good editing and splicing and trying to get us thinking. But in the outfit where Jesse tells her, "Are you going to be okay with whatever happens here?" when he talks about it being a first, I think she's in that same outfit.
Okay.
So just keep your eyes on the clothes, keep your eyes on the edits, keep your eyes on the shadows.
On the shadows.
talked
And listen,
about.
I don't
We don't
remember
know.
the seasons as well as you ladies do. Has a Bachelorette ever proposed herself to the Bachelor? Is that something that's the first thing I thought.
think
She
so.
could ask him to marry her.
They usually
That was one thing that I thought.
provide
might
the opening like you're the one, and then
And then
he
they
and
do
then
it.
they propose.
Yeah, I don't know that any Bachelorette has ever been like, "Will you marry me?"
Yeah, maybe that's
Not
what happens.
remembering.
Because again, at the very beginning of the episode, she's like, "I can't let you propose to me." Whoever she says that to, which I
Because
thought was
I'm
a
gonna
good way to
propose to you.
Maybe. And I also like, side note, I used to hate how The Bachelor would say, "Coming up on The Bachelor," and they would give away the entire 2-hour episode before you even watched it. And now they don't do that. Now they just start with like a clip as like a cliffhanger, and then off we go.
It's a
and
nice
they don't,
little change
It
up.
is. It's a nice change up as a viewer. I appreciate that because I hated seeing the whole 2-hour trailer, and then you're like, well, why do I even need to watch? I just saw everything that's coming up. And that's how they used to do it. So that was just me getting off my soapbox, or was on my soapbox. But I'm going to get
We've
off.
got past Bachelorettes coming on too. We've got Trista.
Yeah, Daisy.
Yep.
Daisy was on there, and then the other woman too. I can't think.
Charity?
Of Charity.
No, Charity was there,
Yes,
yes.
Charity was on as well.
And Kelsey, I thought I saw. So
Possibly.
Yeah,
May
like,
have to
I
go
don't-
back and rewind.
yeah.
well, we
gotta
thought you had it broken down frame by frame, Gina.
I
so,
did, but don't you worry. I will go watch it again.
I know.
I'll keep you posted.
It was a very juicy trailer, and I think there's a lot for us to be excited about on this upcoming season. Are there any other news and notes or any other
you
nuggets you guys
guys-
want to talk
Did
about?
you guys think that Devin looked like Pete Davidson?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you catch
Can
that
I
vibe?
tell
That was definite, and she said that.
She said that, and now I can't unsee it. Every time he talks, I'm like, oh my God, it's Pete Davidson.
Yeah, and there was a clip of him in the trailer for later this season. Fireworks going off, them making out. So he goes pretty far.
And as a sports guy here, were you impressed with her basket skills?
Yes.
Shooting
Now,
those
was there
hoops?
some creative editing? I hope there wasn't. I hope that was exactly as it unfolded
I don't know that
organically.
there was. I
She
feel
was
like
raining those.
She was. And she bit her lip with she was waiting for I noticed that as the guy. She was biting her lip, like waiting for him to kiss her at the end of the basketball date. And then somebody else came and interrupted, and I forget who that was.
But did you
and
think
it
she
came in and-
wanted a kiss?
Oh, absolutely. She
No.
said herself that she was thinking about it. She's like, I kind of want to kiss him. That's exactly what she said.
I don't know. He gives me
Which,
the
by the
ips.
way, he was another bad boy, Grant.
Yes.
Yes,
So
Grant,
I feel
that's his name.
like
The
we're
basketball
seeing
player.
she's got a little bad,
But
she
did
likes
you
a little
like
bad
him,
boy.
Gina? Did you like him?
I did not.
I did not
Well,
either.
she was one of the one. He was one of the ones that she said was hot coming out of the limo.
Yeah.
So she kind of was,
Was,
and then
yeah.
she
I mean, he's
said,
good
he's
looking.
my type. He's tall. He's hot. And then she said, he's hot. He's hot. He's hot. Like she said it 3 times, and then she said that she wanted to kiss him or was thinking about kissing him.
These guys
saw
were
the lip
standoffish.
bites. Well, here's the thing, and this goes back to, and I know we view these through a different lens, and that's
Yeah.
what makes this podcast so fun. I bring the guy's point of view. You bring the lady's point of view. As a guy, I don't want to overstep my, they always say shoot your shot, but I don't want to shoot my shot if it's going to get me shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's gonna kill me and knock me out, like it's like you have to kind of play it very cautiously. And it's one of those things like, do you kiss on the first date? Or do you make sure you kiss for sure on the second date if you don't kiss on the first date? And listen, it's all a game of love, and that's why this thing is called Playing the Field, because this is one big game, and that's all we're trying to figure out is who we're supposed to be with at the end of our lives here and find the love of our life. But yeah, I mean, I think there was a point where he wanted to kiss her, and I think he would have if he was not interrupted. But Sam, once he got the first impression rose, I said this out loud. I'm like, you better kiss her, bro. Like, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Like, once you got that was the green light.
She went for
me.
it.
And she kissed him.
Yes.
Right.
She was not waiting anymore. She's like, this is enough.
Now, if you're the Bachelorette ladies, now typically, I'm guessing, would you ladies make the first move on a first date when you're going to kiss a guy, or would you wait for the guy to kiss you?
I think being the Bachelorette's
You have
a little
to change
different.
your strategy. That's my point.
Because they are nervous, you know, and you're in that position, so you might have to make the move.
Right.
You know, but
Which she did.
normal life, I would wait. But as the Bachelorette, I probably wouldn't wait as
We
much.
would love to see Jen as the Bachelorette.
Happily
Just
married.
wreaking havoc
Her
in the house.
husband might not like that so much.
Well, I'm talking about before, pre-married Jen.
That would be
An
fun.
important
That would have
disclaimer.
been fun.
Oh, you would have loved it. I have no doubt about that.
You'd make a great Bachelor.
Listen, I've been pining to get on the show. We've been begging every episode, and Gina's got a finger on the pulse to all the people in LA, and she's going to make this happen. I just want to say that
Make
if I
some calls.
do, if
Wait, what?
if I
Is
do
that what
get
I'm
on The
doing?
Bachelor, we are bringing you two on as like the people I seek advice from towards the end.
Oh,
I will happily
It's going to
do
be
that.
great.
oh my
Yeah.
I will
gosh, that would
happily
be
do that.
incredible.
Justine, our social media extraordinaire, she'll be there getting pictures for the gram and stuff. It's going to be awesome. I
Oh,
can't wait
yeah.
for that.
That's going to happen.
It would be great.
I have to say just one thing about Sam. I also found it kind of ironic and just a little funny that he was the one who's like, oh, I don't think she's going to kiss a lot of a lot of guys.
Yeah.
You know, the first night, I think it's, that's not the kind of thing. She just wants to make connections. And then meanwhile, cut to a few minutes
He's
later.
the one.
Yeah.
There he is getting the first
There he
impression
is.
rose. It'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see. A lot to unfold. We hope you enjoyed our Playing the Field podcast, our latest episode. And of course, now that the season is underway, we started with 25 guys. We're already down to 18. In last season on Joey's season, I think we had 31
I
Bachelorettes,
know.
only 25 this time.
Yeah.
But we do have one guy coming back from the past, and maybe we think,
Yeah.
and maybe somebody else coming back. So right now we're at 18, and we're going to see how this all unfolds here in the weeks ahead.
Can I ask you guys a question?
You just
What
did.
did you think? Oh, Ryan.
Never change.
Never change. It's just like I'm on Zoom, There you go.
We want you to feel right at home.
I
Gina.
do feel perfectly at home. We didn't talk about Sam N.
Oh,
Love
gosh.
Virgin.
Oh my gosh! And I'm so
awkward.
glad you brought that up, because have we ever seen a guy curl his eyelashes on The Bachelor or Bachelorette? I was like, what are you doing?
That was my question for you. As someone on television, do you ever just,
Well, listen, if I were to do that, I would make sure there was no cameras present when I was doing that. I mean, they put this guy on blast.
Full confession, I worked with a correspondent a while back who used to curl his eyelashes.
I also have long eyelashes, so I would definitely curl them if I did that, which I do not. But I thought, I thought that, and then,
all about
and then, how did
opening
they
the eye.
identify him at one point? Still trying to get to third base emotionally or something?
Yes.
I was what?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, we're talking about Jen and, showing her culture. He has said both of his parents are from Iran.
Yes.
And so it is, I guess, part of his culture. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's a culture clash there. And how that's received. If we see and hear more about him, I wonder how far he'll make it. It'll be interesting to see, I think.
I mean, he seems perfectly nice, but also needy a little. I don't know.
And then he was almost salty when he got his rose. Like, you waited that long to pick me? Like, he was the last guy. He just seemed kind of annoyed.
I need a rose.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna be last.
Somebody's going to, if you ain't first,
Someone's
you're last.
gonna be first. Someone's gonna be last.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes.
Maybe she was
Embrace
saving the
drama,
best for
people.
last.
Embrace the drama.
Embrace the drama. That's what we do on this podcast, and we're so happy that you're along for another ride here on Playing the Field. I will not be here next week. Full disclosure, I'm crossing off my 50th state. I'm going to Alaska.
Wow.
So I'll have gone to all 50 states. So I am looking forward to being out there in the great
That's
white
okay.
north. If I get entangled with a grizzly bear, I'll be sure to FaceTime for the podcast so you guys can
Perfect.
get one last view of me before bid farewell. Let's hope it
If we
doesn't
see
come
a
to
group
that.
FaceTime, we'll know that the end is
Oh
near.
my God, hit record, screen record. So we know you guys are going to carry on without me, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. And as always, thanks so much for joining us here on Playing the Field. Jen, what do you like to say about hit subscribe?
Oh, yes. Please follow us because then you will know all of our latest episodes right when they drop.
And all the juicy Bachelor Nation content. Gina, it was so great to have you here in studio.
It was great to be here.
We
Thank
want to
you,
make
New
this a
York.
thing going forward. It just has a such different feel when she's
so
right here in the
great.
flesh.
Let's talk to the powers that be.
Let's do it.
I will come to New York anytime. I lived here once before, and I will happily come anytime.
Well, we were happy to have you, and we are happy to have you along for the ride. You viewers, you listeners here on Playing the Field. We will see you next time for another exciting episode of Playing the Field. We'll see you then.